real estate is not property business, it's people business. You never know what's going to happen next.
So real estate not a uniform product. That is the biggest challenge.
Being a very young industry, we have not yet seen that Pepsi-Cola war. You know, like builder 1 versus builder 2. Until the point comes where they are competing with each other, it's not a mature market. How is it a problem that you can solve?
See, when there is a problem, it means you are growing. If there is no problem, if you are not solving the problem, you are not growing.
What's the problem that you want to solve now?
So one thing which I want for a customer, housing for all.
The 1950s, 60s, Bombay had apartments. There are still apartments. 3-story, 4-story buildings were made in the 50s. Now think of Chawl.
Chawl.
What is Chawl? Chawl is apartment.
I used to watch a lot of Amitabh Bachchan movies where Amitabh Bachchan has entered into real estate business and he has become very big and wealthy. So that is from your childhood days, always it's there. Real estate is very exciting business. Very exciting business. I go and see everything every day. Every moment is new for me.
I actually made this statement like, a year back I was talking to some youngsters and I told them that, if you don't buy real estate in the next 18 months, you'll be a tenant all your life. Good evening, everybody. Today we have Mr. Vivek Raman from Regrob. So hi Vivek, thank you so much for coming in all the way from Delhi.
Thank you, Mr. Pounacha. Thank you.
So first, we would just like to know something about your business. What business are you in?
So we are tech-enabled real estate brokerage firm. Working in more than 17 cities in India, and almost we are working with 400 plus developer all over India. And it's like we do a tie-up with developers and we take their properties online, we put it online and then we generate a leads and then we have a sales team at the ground who close the deals. So that is all about our businesses. And we are putting lot of technology to make it more efficient for our team also and for buyers also. So this is a little bit about our business.
Right. What made you start this business?
I was in job. My first, after passing out from completing my management, I was in job. I was in top companies, Reliance Mutual Fund, Karnataka only. And then I started a travel business. First, I started a travel business. It's a complete brick and mortar model.
Interesting.
And a brick and mortar model. It's like a typical. I have opened a shop in Delhi, and where people used to walk in. Or
Correct.
online era was not there. There was one platform, Hello India from India Mart. So we used to do that to acquire client, but that was only 1 or 2%. 99% was offline.
Direct references.
So I was doing extremely good. I was earning very handsome money also, but there was no scalability. And that time there was no Make My Trip or other brands were there. But slowly they entered into market. So I just felt I need a technology to scale my business. So that is one of the things to enter into another business. I never say anything is failed because it gives you a lot of learnings actually.
True. So it's either success or learning. There's no other option.
The more failures, the more you will be successful in later stage.
True.
That is the thing. Second, I entered into real estate business, which is Regrob. I was very fascinated by real estate from my childhood days. My father was a chief engineer irrigation department, and so I used to see a lot of construction guy come to my home.
And the big cars and
wealthy people,
security and
the wealthy people. So that always fascinated me, and I used to watch a lot of Amitabh Bachchan movies. Amitabh Bachchan movies where Amitabh Bachchan has entered into real estate business and he has become very big and wealthy. So that is from your childhood days, always it's there. So that is the second reason. And the third, I always, because in management and once I left travel business, I started searching about what type of business I should do. Real estate was always there. But one thing which is very important, what we call it asset light business. So you will feel real estate is not an asset light business.
How are you made it? That was my question. How did you make real estate asset light?
Asset light business. Actually, it's an asset heavy business. Real estate is the asset heavy business because you need to put a lot of capital, build inventories. But in asset light, what happened? In real estate brokerage business, you don't own any inventory. Like if you know Airbnb, Ola, they don't own any inventory. So here also we are not owning any inventory. So we are completely asset light.
In fact, I always say if you work for a certain builder, you have a certain limited inventory. If he makes 100, your inventory is 100. If you are in real estate brokerage business, if you look here, whatever you see is your inventory, look there, whatever you see there is your inventory, or you just have to have a mandate for that. A permission to sell it. So one meeting, then who will say no? It's why will they not agree?
Right, absolutely right. You have a long background of real estate, so you are the right guy. So tell us also on the same thing. So that asset light business model attracted us a lot because we did a lot of case studies on this Ola, Airbnb, and all that. So that also made us to launch this business.
So you all started first as one firm and then expanded it with a tech-enabled, or you directly started as a tech-enabled real estate company?
No, I started as a normal real estate brokerage firm because that was at that time the tech was not there exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Because
है ना?
I think 15 years you've been doing this?
Yes, almost 14 years.
14 years.
So if you ask someone to make a website, so he will say, I'll charge 10 lakh rupees for making a website. Na? That time we didn't have that kind of money. 10 lakh rupees at that time. So website. And right now website is no longer a business. Na?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. So I started a traditional way of doing business, but over 6 months, I started mingling with other people where I can learn technology and deploy technology. So I started doing networking in my college alumni and all that. Then I find my other co-founder. Then we deployed technology. We made a website and all other things. And that's how we entered into tech.
So how does your business work? You're in 17 cities. So do you have 17 offices, or how does it work? How does your
So
business
we don't have they are our offices, but they are basically our franchisee partner.
work?
So people come to us and they take our franchisee.
Correct.
So we don't call them franchisee, we always call them, they are our partners, they are
Understood.
franchisee partners, and we give them all kind of service. So my first customer is my franchisee. My first, who takes care about my last customer. So my last
Correct.
customer were the buyer. So in this way we work.
What about the name Regrob? What made you?
So Regrow started with a concept of group buying. Regrow, real estate group buying.
Okay.
So suppose you want to buy a property X builder and somebody is interested from Lucknow, somebody is interested from Mumbai, different. So we'll group them and they will buy at the discounted. Discounted. But over the years, your model get changed and all that because.
So this is way before AIF and REITs, REITs
Yeah.
came into
Yes.
picture, or strata buying came into
Yes.
picture.
Yeah.
Co-owning came into
Yeah.
picture. So this is actually, so sometimes if you're before your time also, it can be a problem. That's my observation.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
So now that you've got a business which is almost 1.5 decades old, you've done franchising. So real estate franchising somehow is not done as well as the FMCG franchising, restaurant franchising, and there are some reasons for that. We are well aware why that could be. We'll talk about that little later. But what is the biggest problem that you feel you are facing today in running your business? Is there any one aspect of your business? The entire aim of this podcast is to understand your business, why you started the business, and if there's any one problem that I could solve for you, I'd be happy to make an attempt.
Yeah. So real estate is not a uniform product. That is the biggest challenge. If I'm selling an iPhone, it is you're buying in Bangalore or you are buying in Noida or anywhere. It is the same.
Correct.
So every step the real estate price gets changed. Even the same developer, the same flat, the west facing, east facing, it is not a uniform product. So that is the biggest challenge.
Correct.
It's of this whole industry.
The dilemma you have is I make a product like an iPhone, and somebody may like it, somebody may not like it.
Yeah.
Right? In real estate, I make 50 options and one guy is liking some, disliking some. So it's like a total flip from the traditional businesses. So that is actually, how is it a problem that you can solve? You really can't solve it.
We are trying to solve it.
So then you'll make mass housing. If you make identical houses, it will look like BDA, DDA kind of apartment.
And that is see, when there is a problem, it means you are growing. There is no problem. If you're not solving the problem, you are not growing.
True. So what's the problem that you want to solve now?
So one thing which I want for a customer, housing for all.
Wonderful.
So one thing is that affordable housing. That is that we as a human being also, not as an entrepreneur, we are looking, everybody should have a house. So affordable housing. So we keep on finding affordable housing also.
Correct.
So that we can give it to our client. Because once you see
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. In fact, in one of the previous podcasts I had, it was also with a real estate related business. So that time I actually made this statement a year back I was talking to some youngsters and I told them that if you don't buy real estate in the next 18 months, you'll be a tenant all your life.
Yes.
Because you agree with that, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, the prices have gone up in the last 3, 4, 5 years as compared to people's income. Inflation is nothing. We are at a different level altogether. Or maybe there was a lot of latent demand which was suppressed for many years. Because if you go beyond the last 5 years, for about 8-10 years, there was no hike in the price. It was like a very flat market. Whoever invested in 2012 till 2018, they were selling in same price. It was all distressed sales. So maybe that little dip and rise actually looks, this portion is like the rising portion. So maybe the last few years was, in the last 10 years, if you look, it is inflation. It's
yes,
not
inflation. Cement prices has become doubled.
Cement has doubled.
All so the prices which you are seeing, actually it is inflation.
Yes.
70% in inflation and 30% is only jump.
Correct.
And if I go to earlier, Noida was affordable.
Yes.
No, it is not affordable. You will not get something below 1.52 crore. And if you go to Gurgaon, forget everything. I will not name a developer. He's saying Gurgaon is not for poor people. Upfront he's saying. So that's what affordable housing is required.
True. So the main issue with affordable housing is your construction cost is fixed.
Yes.
Yeah, the amount that people can pay is also kind of fixed. Like, my budget is 50 lakhs means my budget is 50 lakhs. So it all boils down to the land value.
Yeah.
If you got land for free, yeah, construction cost is 3,000, 5,000, whatever, depending on what you do, 3 to 5,000 rupees, it would be your cost. You could put 10% margin and give. Technically, if you could construct at 3,000, you could sell at 3,300 if your land was free. If your land cost was subsidized, maybe that will solve your problem. There's no way your construction cost can be subsidized because
No.
cement to dal nahi hai.
Yeah, nahi.
Ita vita to laga nahi hai. So, it won't really, there's no way you can control that. Can you control it by reducing the specifications? Like, there are few companies which are doing decent work in this segment. Like in Bangalore, DS Max does a wonderful job. It
Yes,
still
yes,
gives
yes,
you good
yes, yes.
options at, the sub 80 lakh mark. There are good options. Most of the builders, they have, 2-bedroom has become 1 crore in Bangalore. Noida, Gurgaon side, if you see north, you've got Signature Global.
Yes, Signature is there.
They do a good job. And
M3M is there.
3M, yes, 3M also does quite a, but see, 3M also depending on location. So if you look at it, they are not a pure play low cost housing. Am I correct? Or
Yes, no.
they
low
do
cost
other
housing.
stuff also. They also do low cost.
Yeah, low cost. So there are a lot of developers who have launched project 1 hour away from main cities.
Hmm.
And you can reach in 1 hour to that place. So that way they can solve a problem.
But without the right infrastructure, 1 hour if you're driving, it's totally ruled out.
And there's no traffic in that 1 hour.
No, today there's no traffic. By
But-
the time the building is complete and you're not going to make 100 apartments, you will make 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So by that time, unless there's a metro or a railway or some kind of proper public transport, having a 1 hour away, like for example, Kengeri to city center, it's very convenient.
Yes,
That's one thing, you can come to city center easily. In fact, from Kengeri all the way to Whitefield, you can go in just sit there and sleep off in the metro. Last stop you get off, you're in Whitefield. So that level of convenience, until it is there and the people staying there are comfortable going by public transport. Like in many cities, people look down upon public transport.
Right.
The same people will catch metro in Singapore. Because there's it's Singapore and they want to blend in. So one thing is, for low cost housing, of course you have to go where the land is at I won't use the word affordable or cheap, where land is available at a reasonable rate. Construction cost is going to be same as long as your specifications are.
In that case, government has to interfere. Government has to provide land. Because generally builders are buying directly from the farmer.
Correct.
So government, if they do the mapping and they provide a land, then it would be easy.
So if you look at it, you look at your industrial plots. Almost every state, like Maharashtra is MIDC, Karnataka is KIDB. I don't know about Delhi side, the industrial approved land which is given by the government. Even there, it's quite expensive.
Yes.
So because government cannot acquire for some amount and give it for free. So if it acquires for say 10 rupees a square feet, it is selling to industry at 40 rupees, 50 rupees, 80 rupees a square feet.
Right.
So there's a past precedence where it is proven that government really cannot do that. Maybe if they have some government land lying idle, they say, okay, let's give it to somebody. But the question is, to whom? So then any such proposal which is very socialistic in nature does not work. It has to, what the government, in my opinion, should do is provide the infrastructure, charge for it. Builders will go and buy it wherever the land is good.
Yes.
Builders are smart, they are businessmen. They know how to buy land at a good rate. They know how to construct it. But they cannot go and force a metro to come there.
No, they can't.
They can just, hope that the metro comes by the time the project gets completed. Like for example, if I go and buy 100 acres, 50 kilometers from city center of Bangalore.
Okay.
50 kilometers, like beyond Yelaga or maybe beyond Devanahalli also. I buy 100 acres and I make a township. It will take me 3-4 years to finish the first phase where people can start living.
More than that, people
Let's
will start
start
living after
first
5,
phase.
6, 7
First 10 acres will complete in the first 3 to 5 years, where operational with commercial everything. If I have to complete the full 100 acres, it will take me at least 7 to 9 years to complete, because that market cannot absorb that much. You go to every market, there's a absorption level that we always study before launching. Okay, how many can we sell a month? Like how many people are looking? 1,000 people are looking means 100-150 sales maximum. Like for example, KIDB aerospace, in that area, that's a classic case study. One of the project was launching. There are 4 established projects there which have sold 4,000 apartments. So my logic was simple. 4,000 apartments sold means 40,000 site visits have happened. That means there are 36,000 people still waiting
Yes.
to buy. Out of that, you are launching 1,000, 1,200. So it's a no-brainer. When you go far away, you'll have to check the supply you are creating, the demand. People are going to invest far away, hoping that in future there'll be development. So that is happening with plots, especially in South India.
Yes.
People are crazy with plots. Anywhere you make plots, far away they'll change 2 trains to go see mera plot at 30-40 site. Kabhi develop hoga malum nahi. But the moment you start making infra, like land is technically, if you look at it, land is free.
Right.
Somebody has control, you have to buy the control of the land. Once you buy that land, control of the land or the title of the land is there. Once you invest another 100, 200, 300, 500 crores to develop that, if the metro is not ready by then, your project is a flop.
And there are other non-real estate things. Hospital.
Absolutely.
School.
So when you make a township, it is always planned. There are going to be, I always say whenever there's a complex more than 2,000 people, 2,000 families living, about 4,500, just open one barber shop. Everybody will haircut.
Yeah.
Once a month haircut, 2,000 people once a month, you'll always be full. In fact, Saturday, Sunday, hire few more barbers, make them sit outside and cut. Utna demand hai.
Right.
So there will always be a demand for services. And the beauty of services is that they're like mushroom. They'll pop up where required. Even if you don't give infrastructure, on the roadside, they'll make thela and make barber shop. Or whatever, grocery store is not there, one fellow with hath gadi will come and sell.
Right.
So that it is like, the economy works like that. What point I'm trying to say, if really you want to solve the problem of housing, you will have to look at construction far away from the city with very good public infra. Now, if your public infra is good, if your metro is good, like for example, you look at any metro line, the length of the platform and the length of the train, look at it. Train will be 3 bogies, 4 bogies, 5 bogies, but the length of platform is more.
Yes.
If you go to Bombay, where the local train is there, it's other way around. The platform is this much, train is double length.
Right.
So it first half will stop here, second half will stop for the other stop. Like it is actually double shifting. That's the efficiency they've tried to achieve.
Right.
I don't know if they're still doing that, but back in the day, this was it was double the length of the, or there's some cases they lengthened the platform to add more bogies. The metro is not yet there. That means only the top 1-2% of public transport users are actually using metro. Because generally we Indians have a little apprehension, oh no, air conditioned, it may be costly, not even verified the price. And in fact, show me a fully packed metro where people are really struggling to get into the metro. Maybe 1 or 2 trains in the whole day will be reaching that packed level. Until that is throughout the day. Like, one train goes, you like say 1, 2, 3, 4, next train comes.
Right.
That level of acceptance.
Acceptance.
That much acceptance is not there. People still prefer to take their 2-wheeler and go. Imagine you're staying 1 hour away, 11 o'clock metro closes. 12 o'clock if you have to go somewhere, or you go see a movie in the city, you want to come back, you're stuck. So public transport has to be 24/7 and it should be very spread out. Like if you look at a city like Pune or Bangalore, which is like not got a boundary. Like Bombay has a boundary, it's an island.
Yeah.
Then you have Thane on this side, you've got, the rest of that. Delhi again, it has got multiple states around it. You've got the main Delhi state, then you've got your Haryana, you've got your Uttar Pradesh,
yes,
you have got Punjab, which are like
right,
almost touching. So it cannot, if Delhi tries to expand, it is going into other states.
Another state, right?
Right? There will be some state like Chennai and Bombay where they have got a coast. They cannot go into the coast. So they get to expand in one direction. So there are many cities like you say Indore, Bhopal, Bangalore, Pune, which can expand in all directions. So there you make a star model. From the city center go one metro in 5 directions to whichever small town. Say from here all the way to Hoskote, here all the way to end of Mysore Road, Kangeri, beyond that and all. Go as far as you can and create 200, 300 acre townships there, or 500 acre or 1000 acre townships there. And that's why you decongest the city. And this is all proven, and maybe in the 60s, 70s, a lot of things was written about de-urbanizing the urban area by providing good infrastructure. And in fact, if you look at Japan, Tokyo is the most populous city in the world. Extremely high. People travel 160, 170 kilometers one way every day to attend office and go back. And it's smooth.
Right.
It is smooth. Because the trains are so well planned, and the intercity, they in fact, I was seeing this lovely YouTube video some time back where they actually put sugar cubes where the metro stations are, and they left ants to see what route they take to, fastest. So, the actual network of the metro, there are a lot of, you can check a lot of YouTube videos on how that is done. So if I were to design it, I'll put like this. But from here, if I want to go here, then I have to come from there. So if I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and coming here, this was a shorter route.
Right.
So you put an ant here, put a cube there. How does he go? Put a cube here, put a cube here, they actually used ants, and with the way the ants move, they actually designed the metro stations and the routes. Stations were there, the routes were designed. Today, if I want to go from here to there, I should take this route. It will be faster, more efficient. So a lot of research has been done in the 70s, 80s itself on de-urbanization of urban area. Unfortunately, it requires very heavy investment and no returns at all for the government.
You can take an example of Bangalore airport.
Hmm.
When it was launched, 2009.
Yes, 8, 9 around that time. Yeah.
How many years? 17, 18 years now?
Yes. There's no metro yet.
No metro yet. No real estate is established yet. Completely.
Slowly.
Very slowly.
Very slowly. Correct. Absolutely. That is
a lot of time. It will take another 10, 15 years more.
Yes, true. So I would say it could take 10, 15 years. It could take 5 years. It could take 50 years. It totally depends on political will. It totally depends on
Real estate
political will.
takes a time for establishment.
Correct.
I'll give you an example. One of my very close journalists is writing a book on Noida International Airport. So he asked me his views we want to put in his book for Noida International Airport. So that is on Yamuna Expressway, Noida, which we call Jewar Airport also.
Correct.
So Noida Expressway, when it is start, now it has been 14 years has been passed. It is still not established.
Oh yeah, I recently when I was in Delhi, they were offering me some plots for auction plots and all that. That is still happening. That should have happened 14 years ago, according to me.
Yeah. And now, how can you imagine that Yamuna Expressway, where airport is coming, it will be established immediately in 3-4 years. You need hotels, hospital, real estate construction takes a time.
Yeah.
So again, I am betting you it will take 20 years.
Yeah.
I'm just comparing with Bangalore airport.
Correct.
Even if you have political will.
Correct.
It takes a time.
So it's suppose if I want to put a hotel. Suppose today I want to build a hotel.
Ah.
I have the money, I have the land, everything. But if I build the hotel, somebody should come for a cup of coffee.
Yes.
If nobody is there, who will come? So I'll say first let 20,000 population shift, then only my hotel is viable.
Yeah.
Now, what if you do everything simultaneously? You start constructing the hotel, start constructing the infrastructure, start constructing the residential, start making tech parks all together, saying that on 15th October 2031, we are going to inaugurate this. Whoever's booked, you book, pay the money, whatever, wait. Everybody in that time only can shift.
Yeah.
Impossible to execute.
Right.
On paper, it looks good. Ki, hai, same time we'll build everything. But what will happen is, no, one fellow will say, no, my next year shift honga. Then what will you do? You can't give his property to somebody else. Tech park should open. They say, no, we have to retrain our people. We don't want to shift now. It is one company shifting is a 3 to 7 months process. And the decision making to shift from one city to another or one location to another is a 2-year process.
Right.
So today, if a company decides we are going to shift out, it's 2025, in 2031 we are going to be there, it's too early. They won't take the decision.
So, like you told that until unless metro is not there, public transport, there is a problem. So, if I am putting in Noida, even if Noida International Airport starts, I will not go. I will fly from Delhi.
Correct.
Because I have a direct metro. I'll reach Noida International Airport in 70 rupees. It is not about money also. Let's leave it.
Correct.
But in 40 minutes. But if I have to travel to this place, Noida International Airport, it will take me 1.5 hours.
Yep.
Without traffic. And if until there is no metro, I'll never take a flight from Noida International Airport.
And see, infrastructure is so good. The importance, I'll give you an example. This next weekend, I'm going to Ahmedabad for Coldplay concert.
Okay.
Ahmedabad tickets are 32,000 rupees. So I'm flying to Baroda and driving down. Because Baroda ticket is 15,000. So I'm flying to Baroda, taking a cab. Yes. Cab will be 1,000, 2,000 rupees or whatever he charges. Go there, finish the show, come back to Baroda, fly back from Baroda. Hotels, a normal 3-star hotel is 40,000, 50,000 in Ahmedabad. In Baroda, I'm staying at a friend's place. Because all the friends in Ahmedabad are already booked. They've got people staying with them.
Yes.
So with good infrastructure, because in exactly 2 hours, 15 minutes, Baroda to Ahmedabad, you can just drive down on that super duper expressway what they built. I have actually made my plan not to go to Ahmedabad via Baroda. Think about it. Like you want to go to Bombay, you're catching a flight to Pune and driving down because Bombay-Pune expressway is good.
That's all. That combination is always there. We also do.
That's the importance of infrastructure. Like for example, if you have to go to New Bombay, from Bombay airport to fly, come there, it takes 1.5 hours.
Yes.
Pune takes 1 hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours to, that Vashi Naka. So you have both the options. If the flight is way cheaper to Pune, you can go to Pune. Something like that. So infrastructure is something which is not in our control. So how will your business grow if your focus is going to be on something that is not in your control? So what can you do to grow your business what do you have in mind? How are you going to take this further? If you are focusing on low-cost housing, you will have to become a lobbyist. You will have to go and, explain to the government, explain to the, authorities that, aisa karna hai. You may go to Noida Development Authority. What about BDA? What about BMC Mumbai? What about the other places? So it's an Herculean task. I never say anything is impossible. It is possible, but how much time it will take, we do not know. And is it worth the time? If it's a mission, then probably you should develop your own projects. But then you'll be in the same position as the current builders are.
But we can request to developer to...
If it's viable, why will you not? Any developer, you say that I'm giving a land for 10 rupees, I'm giving construction is 10 rupees, and your margin is 10 rupees, 30 rupees mein becho. No problem hai, nahi lega na.
So right now, currently, all developers are launching only luxury projects and the bigger sizes.
So that is a problem that, it has been there from time immemorial. 2011 or 12, that time I was working for LJ Hooker. We had published a report. That time this was a Bangalore report. Okay. We evaluated 180 projects in Bangalore across everything, and how many projects at what price, what unsold inventory, that kind of stuff we were calculating. And we came to the conclusion, and we published a white paper and gave it to all the developers. Like the report was 10,000, but the white paper was free, like just a summary. And the summary was such that 70% of people, though that time, couldn't afford above 1 crore, right? Only 16% of total inventory in Bangalore was below 1 crore. So it was not a supply-demand issue. It was a supply-demand mismatch. Like there are 100 buyers, there are 100 properties. But out of the 100 buyers, only 16 people had budget. Sorry, 70% people didn't have budget above 1 crore.
1 crore.
And 84% of all the inventory is above 1 crore. So how will the transaction happen?
Right.
That's when in Bangalore, 2011-12, after that report got published, in every 6 months we refreshed it with more and more data. The average size of the apartment in Bangalore that time was 1780 square feet. In Bombay, it was 1200. Average size of apartment was 1200. In 6 months, the average came down to 1660. Where if you only streamed along the new projects, like within the last 6 months which are launched, average was 1480 square feet. So the average size, as price goes higher, the size has to be smaller. It becomes smaller and smaller because it's like a budget.
You can have an example of Mumbai, na, very
same. Bombay, whatever you get.
Bombay will be China. And people will live in 200 square feet.
Chinese will aspire to be like Bombay, become like China, or maybe the other way around. So what I'm saying is that that's when the plotted development started coming, because builders realized sometime in 2013-14 that people, we cannot do luxury apartments because people will not pay 1 crore, 1.5 crore for a 3-bedroom that time. 1700-1800. So 1400 is not livable. But you can make luxury plots. Make a 2 crore clubhouse and make little wider roads. Basically, the benchmark of villa projects back in the day was Adarsh Palm Meadows. You might have seen that Whitefield side. So the concept which became trendy that time was make Adarsh Palm Meadows without the villas. So you make a fancy plotted development. There was I think this company still there, Chartered Housing. He was the first person to make a luxury, it didn't have a clubhouse, but it had underground, it had got street light, it had got footpath with trees on it. So, it looked like you're in a nice, fancy, well-developed place from day one. And whether you make bungalow or don't make bungalow is your choice.
Right.
And location was beyond Devanali. And that time, going rate in those days was 700-800 rupees square feet. He was selling at 1400. In resale, 1400, 1600. So, it did very well those days.
Even now, what you are saying absolutely right. Tier 1 developers are entering into tier 3 cities and launching a project, plotted projects. Even I bought it personally. And the tier 3 city, I bought it from the branded developer. Because that ticket size is very small. I cannot afford to have that in years.
That is exactly. So if you look at the nature of the business, मैं वो बनाऊंगा जो बिकेगा. Now, if you look at it, now there are so many people who have got requirement for a house. They can't afford to buy a 1 crore, 2 crore house. Their budget is 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs maximum. It's very easy to convince them that, okay, land always appreciates. Go buy 150 kilometers away, 100 kilometers away. It becomes very easy to convince. And that's where the entire, focus of developers is going. Because for a developer, continuous churning is important.
Yes.
Because now most developers don't have their own construction team. They are contractors.
Contractors.
So if they don't have a building to build, so be it. But if you have your own team, you have 40 engineers, 800 workers waiting, something should be constructed continuously.
Right.
So if they move to plotted, is very easy. The drawback of plotted is it's a very inefficient form of real estate. Because in 1 acre, you make 19 houses. 19, 30, 40 sites will make. 18, 19, maybe 20. So 20 people per acre. In 1 acre, you can have 100 apartments in most places.
True.
If you get a little bigger one, your efficiency goes even higher. So if you go maybe a 10-acre block with a 2.5, 2.75 FSI, you can get 1,300 apartments. That's 130 apartments per acre. So the same land where if you do a plotted development, you will have only 20 units. You are getting 120, 130 units. In places like Bombay, 1 acre, you will have skyscraper with really large number of large amount of square footage to sell. So the aspect that we must look at, especially the future of real estate, is being moved in directions which the customers are demanding, but the customers themselves don't know what is good for them. I don't have budget to buy. I should invest. I should increase my income. I should do whatever it takes till I can buy something. But as you said, you use the word FOMO. Somewhere I should be invested. They end up buying plotted development far away. And the appreciation that they get in the first 5 to 7 years is very poor.
Very poor.
True. Maybe in 20-year period, it may be okay.
But initially it will take a lot of time.
Because a plot is again one of the most inefficient form. 100% money you put, majority you don't get full loan, you get 70% loan only. Many smaller places are not approved by bank. You put your full life savings there. It's a ridiculous way to invest. You wait 20 years, you get no income from that whatsoever. You pay property tax every year. There's always a risk of the land being encroached by somebody. And end of 20 years, when you sell, you pay capital gains on that. So, kuch bachta nahi hai. Commercial is the other side, where you buy it at 8% cap rate, 9% cap rate. You collect the rent nicely for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever. When you sell it based on the rent, you will get a cap rate of what is going on there. So entire appreciation actually doesn't come while buying, selling. It comes out in the rental. Apartment is a good combination where you get good rental yield as well as you get an appreciation. That's why I personally feel the apartment in a very good location, which is giving a 4.5% rental yield, is actually much better than a commercial. Advantage of commercial is it's a very stable tenant. It's a commercial tenant, so it's a very stable tenant. You can take a loan against it. You can use it for your other businesses. So there are pros and cons of the various real estate investments that we have. Plots is probably the least, but plots is easy to sell because zameen sabko chahiye.
And they keep it like a gold. They keep it for 20 years, 25 years. That I'll keep it for my daughter. She will be funding for education, for marriage.
If you want to do that, buy raw land. Why buy a plot? 30-40 site costs, maybe say you go to any location. A site is say 25 lakh rupees. Let's go someplace, some random place, 25 lakh rupees. I am quite confident because I know the nature of the calculation. If you are getting a site for 25 lakh rupees, 2 years ago, 1 acre would have been 25 lakh rupees there. So pay 50 lakh rupees and buy 1 acre there. Because in 2 years, that 1 acre can be sold into 20 sites of 50 lakhs each. Because typically 2 to 3 years, 1 acre price matches 1 plot size. Maybe not a 30-40, maybe a 60-40, maybe a 2,000 to. I'm saying the value change from raw land to converted land into a plot directly sellable to end customers almost 10 times. That means you're paying 10 times more premium just to get a small piece of paper in your hand. Because land is there, you're going to go once in 3 years to see that land. It's a very inefficient form of investing. If you really want to save for your daughter's wedding, go and buy 1 acre. That's why farm plots are actually good nowadays.
Farm plots.
Farm plots are very good. And if you look at it, I happened to go about 6 months ago to Delhi. I had to meet somebody in Chhatarpur Farms. Number 8, DLF Farms. Oh my God. 4 acre ka to lawn tha unka.
So now you come to my farmhouse because we have launched also one project.
Oh, wonderful. You can give a shout out about the project.
So we have launched one farmhouse project near to Noida, 1 hour away.
Okay.
It is in Garganga.
Okay.
We call it Bridge Ghat. Okay. It's near to Ganga Nadi.
Oh,
it's a UP focus is to make a Haridwar of UP. And they've already got
Haridwar is in
Uttarakhand. So they want to make Haridwar of UP. Okay. The government has already allocated 350 crore rupees for that area.
One more advantage of this location. See, you look at it, real estate always follows trends. There's an airport coming, real estate price goes higher.
Yeah.
Some Tata factory is coming or Infosys campus is coming, the property price goes higher. One thing, recent trend with Ayodhya, I realized with religious tourism, real estate prices go higher.
Yes.
So if you've already bought and registered the land in your name, you're in a very good place.
And there is a huge demand because the ticket size is 45 lakh rupees, 756 square yard. So the people who are already, they have 2 flats. They are the main
56 square yard.
756.
So 8,000 square feet for 45 lakhs.
You multiply by 9 and then
roughly
5,600. So 5,600. multiply by 9, 756.
756
square yard.
square yard. Oh, तो कम होएगा. Square meter will be more.
No,
Oh, sorry.
square yard.
Yeah.
Multiply by none. So that much you will get in 45 lakhs. You have your own farmhouse.
So 1,000 rupees a square feet.
So
Less than
yeah,
1,000.
and we have a gated community. We have 35 feet road.
Oh, nice.
So people are buying. And
so 35 is very rare. Normally people go 24, 25 feet road, road. Even the big branded builders, they're plotted development.
And within 10 minutes you can reach Ganga Nadi. So it's an auspicious place.
So this is not on the banks of River Ganga.
No, it is not allowed. Banks of the rivers is not allowed. It's a flood area. So it's a 10 kilometer away.
Okay.
That is
very nice. So what is the potential if somebody buys over there a farm plot? He can build a bungalow. And
so 15-20% construction they can do. Have a swimming pool.
Okay.
We have built a mud house there.
Okay.
And you build whatever you want, concrete and mud house people are building.
So just 1 hour drive from
Noida, exactly Noida, sector 62, Fortis Hospital.
Kilometer wise, how many? From 80 kilometers?
In 1 hour drive. It's a national highway.
Okay. So from here now, what is the costliest property in Noida today per square foot?
Costliest, which the most costliest.
Most costly.
So there is a Trump Tower coming, 25,000.
Trump Tower, that's an aberration. In general, which are the costly localities in Noida?
So costly is sector 128, JP.
What's the cost per square feet?
19,000-20,000 rupees per square.
For built up for the apartment.
For the apartment.
If I had a 5,600 square feet plot over there, what would the land price be there? 50,000 कम से कम 50-60,000
बहुत ज़्यादा.
1 lakh rupees a square feet. Maybe. Let's say 80,000 rupees.
First thing, it is not available.
No, if it was available,
very costly.
80,000 rupees. So there's a research. This price, okay? If you want this same price, every 1 kilometer you go 1 year. So in 80 years, your 80 kilometers will be 80,000 rupees. That's the logic. I don't know whether this logic will work for 80 kilometers, but typically I have observed 5-6 kilometers. Like how this study came. There's one guy, he applied for a BDA site, BDS Bangalore Development Authority in 1984. So he applied site, 1 lakh rupee site, he got in Cunningham Road. Then he told his son, younger son, he said, I'll apply for you next year because I only have this much money. The next year he applied for site, again 1 lakh rupees, he got in RT Nagar.
Okay.
Then he realized, oh, in 1 year I had to go so many kilometers out of the city. Because that time RT Nagar was outside the city.
Achha, that was...
RT Nagar is now full into the city. RT Nagar is some layout in, I think,
back of that CBI office, I think.
Yeah, CBI. So you just imagine in 1990, this is not 84, 90s or something. Whenever, I don't remember the exact, but basically every 1 kilometer, the price matches the previous. So if you go to the city center and you go 1 kilometer away, next year it will be the city center price.
Yes.
You go another 1 kilometer, the next year that will be city center's today's price.
Today's price.
So by that logic, if you go 7-8 kilometers and do a similar project, you actually are quite sure by the time you're out of the project, you will be getting city center prices there. It will match. You look at it, the 17,000, 18,000 square feet, which was like the prime location in certain places. Now in outskirts, people are paying.
Yes.
Literally. It's become like that. So this city expands at 1 kilometer a year. Some cities at 2 kilometers a year. Some cities more in this, less in this side. Like Bangalore is a perfect example. In the 60s, it was Peenya because Malleshwaram was the old place to stay, extension of Malleshwaram. Then it became Mysore Road because industries came there. Then it became Whitefield in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
Now it is Hennur Road side. It is like Bangalore is going round wherever it's getting space. And now metros are coming there. The question is, where is the next growth coming? Is it Devanalli? Is it beyond Whitefield? Is it Hoskote as a city?
Mysore Road.
Mysore Road. You have bought in Mysore Road, so you would want Mysore Road. But I believe Mysore Road will do very well because the expressway is really good.
Yes.
From your house at Mysore Road to go to my sister's house in Mysore takes 1 hour 20 minutes.
Yes.
If they remove the speed cameras, others takes 1 hour 40 minutes.
Right.
If the speed cameras exist. So that's good, and Mandya is also developing. I think Salarpuri has done a project also there, Kaveri layout or something like that. They have done a good job there. So overall, real estate has been,
if you have to find the best data, just in 2018 we did a survey. Just reach out to this housing loans. So we found out the maximum inquiry which is coming for 25 lakh rupees.
Oh.
So that shows that the people 2018 during COVID.
So today it may be 40 lakhs maximum.
40 lakhs. So the maximum inquiry is near about 40 lakh.
Correct.
So most of the people they have a budget of 40 lakh.
40 lakhs loan means 50 lakhs property.
50 lakhs property.
So if you could give a 4-bedroom penthouse for 50 lakhs, it will be sold out.
Sold out immediately overnight. Overnight.
But See, actually, if you look at it, in 50 lakhs, what can you give? If you can get land for 20 lakhs, in 30 lakhs, you can build a decent house.
Yes.
So Mysore,
1200 square feet you can build in
much lesser.
30 lakh rupees you can
So,
build.
much lesser.
That is an actual construction cost.
Yes.
You just see, no, governments are giving in 30 lakhs, 1200 rupees a square feet, affordable housing. They are launching where government is involved.
Correct.
So this shows that they can build it at this rate.
Oh, that's interesting. And what are your thoughts about the next 5-6 years, other than low cost housing and infrastructure stuff which is not in our control?
So real estate is a quite cyclic business.
Hmm.
So another 5 year is good for us. 5-7 year is good for
I
us.
was under the impression that the last 5 years were good. It cannot be 10 years continuous bull run.
But
It could be a dip.
It could be a dip, but it depends upon which segment you are looking at dip.
True.
Maybe luxury
True.
could be a dip.
True.
But there will always be a demand at 80-90 lakh rupees 1 crore. That there will be demand. Or 40-50
So that 80-90 lakhs typically is husband wife both working. Joint income is 35-40 lakh rupees. There 30 lakhs plus is what they're earning. Only they. Now, how much percentage of population actually have that kind of money?
That is the question. But again, we are only mapping 7 cities of India. True. We are only talking, even all media houses is only talking about the 7 cities.
So you are a franchising company for real estate. So my takeaway that you should be is 80 franchises is what you have, 75, 80 franchises?
Yeah, 80 plus we have. 80
you
plus
must have 800 franchises.
800 franchisees.
Because every gully kucha of a bank of India requires a professional channel partner company.
Yes.
That should be your route.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it, somebody else will.
Yes. Obviously. So there's a lot of growth in tier 3 cities, very well established. You go to Kurukshetra, it is much connected by NH. Sonipat is there.
Correct.
2 hours from Delhi.
Correct.
There are some cities attached to Lucknow.
Correct.
Mysore is an example.
Yeah.
And there are other cities which is attached to Mysore.
Yeah. True.
So
no, in fact, surrounding Mysore, a lot of development has happened towards Kabini side. A lot of farm plots are coming in Kabini. Then 16-17 kilometers from Mysore city also farm plots are coming.
Yes.
Very, very affordable. And you can actually in about, if I'm correct, 50-55 lakhs, you can get a lovely
farmhouse. You'll get lavish farmhouse. Yeah. And the farmhouse, you can multiply money, like in terms of, you have Airbnb, just build it.
Even if you don't do that, you are now staying in one pigeonhole in the city.
Yeah.
It is 16 kilometers away. That means in 16 years, it will be city center. By the same logic, 1 kilometer per year.
Yes.
So you stay little outside city. After 5 years, you shift there. In fact, one of the very big builder, they had a farmhouse close to Hebbal. They shifted while renovation happened. They never moved back. Okay, so I'll not take them. Everybody will know. Huge. So, living in the farmhouse is really a different experience altogether. Every time I go to my estate in Coog, I don't feel like coming back.
But overall, real estate is very exciting business. Very exciting business.
True. Tell me about
even for developer, even for me. I go and see everything every day. Every moment is new for me.
Correct.
I experience everything. Today I was in Manita Tech Park. I was visiting a lot of builders. So something different. Somebody is building different swimming pool, some different deck, something. It's very exciting. You go at 100th floor sometime. You go at sometime G+4. So it's very exciting.
You never know what's going to happen next.
And the next moment I am in farmhouse. The next moment I go to Uttarakhand. There's another project. So that excites me. You keep on traveling and you keep on meeting very different kind of people perspective. Because real estate attracts everyone.
No, I will put it in a different perspective. Real estate is not property business, it is people business.
It's people business.
People buy people.
People buy people. It's overall. Human business is basically between human to human. I call it S2H, human to human. H2H. And so that is
a nice concept.
So S2H. So that is the best part of real estate. And I was just reading this LinkedIn, top 25 jobs in India. So third position is a closing manager.
Oh,
closing manager.
Very important. Very important.
Closing manager is basically, you know this from this India, real estate closing manager. So those who close the deals.
Yep.
So those who are the job.
Technically, they are the negotiators. So the breakup, for those who don't know, the breakup is like this. So if somebody wants to buy real estate, they need somebody to explain the project.
Yes.
If the person is good enough, the person who explains the project, tops up the pricing, closes it. But in many cases, the cost of a person who can close is higher. So you have 3-4 people to explain and one person managing them who will close for them. So that person gets a little extra incentive because he's doing the main job, collecting the check.
Yes, and we are the second largest employer.
Second after agriculture.
After agriculture. And we share the maximum part of the GDP.
Yeah.
And everything is real estate. We are sitting here and we are talking on real estate.
Yeah. inside a building.
Inside a building, we are sitting and discussing everything on real estate. That excites us. So I always say that any aspiring entrepreneur, they should try this business. They should try this business.
And one more aspect of real estate, which especially coming from the brokerage background, is anybody you meet is your potential customer.
Yes.
Because you don't meet people sleeping on the footpath. They either have a house, or they rent a house, or they want to rent a house, or they want to buy a house, or they know somebody who wants to buy a house or rent a house.
Yes.
So at any angle, whomever you meet, the moment you say, I have seen it in my personal experience also. Whenever you meet somebody, oh, you're in real estate, acha, I was looking for one investment, or my friend wants to sell their tech park or 1 acre land or whatever, they will come to me. So lead generation, if you just network with a lot of people, you'll always have your hands full.
And trust me, I have seen people own helicopters in this business. Own
We'll
helicopters.
not say they are
Rolls Royce, they own, and I have seen people who are into this business. This is the truth. There are a lot of things, and I think there is.
So a builder with a 10,000, 20,000 crore market cap owning a helicopter is understandable. You're not referring to that.
I'm referring to brokerage business, other person. They I know personally that, but on record I cannot say the name.
Absolutely.
So they have that kind of identity, and especially in India, if we go to US and UK, still 99% transaction is done by real estate consultant. You cannot eliminate them. Even today, I have a flat, I want to give it on rent, I need to contact broker to get it on rent.
So it's not mandate, it's so convenient that people prefer to do that.
See, there is a survey which came, if you have to buy a house, people have to travel 300 kilometers before buying a house. And that consultant is helping you out to cutting down that time.
True.
You will not leave your job and you will daily...
I'll give a simple example. Today, if you want to buy a property in Dubai, okay? I have got 5 crore rupees, I want to buy a property in Dubai. What all is required for me? First, I should know about the property.
Yes.
Second, I need to travel there to see what I am buying. Third, I have to arrange the loan if required. If loan is not required, how do I send 5 crore rupees from here to there? What's the facility to do it? What's the method to do it? I don't know. At every stage of me to buy, I need somebody who's already done it. Now, you're in the business of real estate. If you know these 3 things,
yes.
If I want to buy, I just come to you, boss. तू recommend कर रहा है ना, मैं ले रहा हूँ. अच्छा रेंट मिल रहा है ना, ले रहा हूँ. ये पैसा किधर डालूं? Okay, you have to fill this form, you have to get this approval, transfer the money, do the transfer. So the reason why they are coming to you is not because you are charging 1% less or they are a friend. They have no choice because the cost of going to Dubai, searching the entire market to seeing 100 properties and saying which one is good for me, because as long as your credibility is there that you have done the research, you have seen the 100 properties and you are deciding to go to XYZ building in Dubai, they will trust you.
Yes.
Again, human to human. As you just mentioned.
Real estate has just started in India. Trust me. I think first time I'm living in an apartment. Before that, I was in independent house.
Correct.
Even you are also.
No. If you look at it, real estate is a very nascent business. It started in the 50s, 60s.
Yes.
So actually, if you look at it, it is a very young industry.
Apartment culture. I'm talking about the apartment culture.
It's 1950s, 60s, Bombay had apartments.
Apartment, but very few.
You go to central, like there are still apartments, but 3-story, 4-story buildings were made in the 50s.
Okay.
Chawl system.
G+3, G+4.
Think of chawl. What is chawl? Chawl is apartment.
Yeah, I'm talking about the high rise.
High rise, I think the first technical high rise would have been 1975, 76, around that time. So 80s is when, 7 stories was called high rise those days. Today, 14 stories is considered high rise. 14 or I think above 11 floors is considered high rise. And different states have different definition of high rise. Different kind of approvals are there because land is a state matter.
Yes, state subject, right?
It's a state subject, so it's very decentralized. And being a very young industry, we have not yet seen that Pepsi-Cola war.
Yes.
Builder 1 versus builder 2. They are assuming that the market is so big, isko nahi gaya to mere ko aa jayega. That's not the case. Until the point comes where they are competing with each other, it's not a mature market. Until we have, comparisons happening, an ad campaign where, Pepsi is making fun of Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola is making fun of Pepsi, till that happens between builder to builder. Like, somebody put an ad, so-and-so builder, now in Bangalore. Our Prestige or Brigade should have put another hoarding saying, so what? That kind of, knock joke till it comes, we are not a mature, real estate, not a mature industry.
Not a mature industry. But now they are getting a pinch now. A lot of developers are moving from Bangalore to Hyderabad to different.
So that is the reason because is, first and foremost, if you look at your city where you are based, suppose I am a Bangalore-based builder. I have seen every property that's possible. I am negotiating with half the properties that are viable. Which of them will close Suppose I do not know. In the meanwhile, I will have a connect in Hyderabad who's very well connected in Hyderabad. And they say, this one property, good clear title, why don't you take? These are the numbers. Wherever business happens, builders will go. And now it's quite, for lack of any other word, I'll say it's quite professional. You've got consultants for everything. You've got, the rules are very clear. You follow the rules. You get your RERA here, RERA there, same minor changes here and there. Approval, sanctions, all there are consultants who do everything. And the margins are very low now. With RERA coming in, the small builders got wiped out.
Yes, wiped out.
And
Complete.
the big builders' margins have gone down. Costs have gone up. So in the industry where the buyer cannot pay more, the cost of doing business has gone higher, only impact is the margins. So a builder typically in the 80s would have a 35% margin, 40% margin. Today it's single digit. Look at any of the listed companies, they're all single digit margins.
Right.
A profit after tax is like very less. Decimals almost.
So there are a lot of, I would invite all young entrepreneurs who are going to enter into this business, because if you go to US and UK, there are more than 100 listed companies in brokerage.
True.
But in India, hardly.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
So when a taxi kind of business can be disrupted, why not real estate cannot?
It can be. In fact, there are ways it can be done, and that is something that whoever decides to do has to have the right word I get is jigra. Because every 100 kilometers ago, the rules change, the people change, everything changes. So you were mentioning about new people joining real estate. I'll tell you why it's a good place. One is your investment is very low.
Yes.
You can just go ask somebody, can I sell your property? You can do a little bit advertising, talk to a few people. You can actually start with the entry barrier is very, very low.
Right.
I have this funny story. About 7-8 years ago, I was talking to one of the builders, little smaller builders, and he's telling, kya karo, anybody with 1 crore money is becoming builder. I told him, boss, you are worried about builders having competition. I am a broker, boss. What do you expect? Anybody with a phone number is becoming a broker.
Yes.
The entry barrier is almost zero. So it's a good place to start.
Yes.
Second thing is, you will meet so many people, your development will be very good. You will learn so much, and your communication skills improve.
You will meet only high-end people. That is the beauty, because real estate investment.
That I will disagree, because if you end up in the wrong project, or you don't have capability to talk to high-end people. So very early in my career, I realized that the effort to sell a 2-bedroom at 40 lakh rupees and selling a villa of 5 crores is exactly same, because for the person who's buying, it's his biggest buying decision.
Yes.
The question is, that vice president of that software company buying 5 crore villa, is he ready to talk to you? If he's ready, then why waste your time with 40 lakhs ka 2%? Take 3%, 4% of 5 crores, isn't it?
Yes.
So entry barrier is less, exposure is good, and after you have done this for say 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, you can plug into any industry because you have learned people skills.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
And you know all the places of that city.
Oh yes.
Everything you know, everything.
Yes.
Nobody can speak better than you. With all the traffic you can talk about.
So when I moved to Bangalore from Bombay like 19 years ago, I remember every time, no left, no right. I used to keep asking who was in the car. After I joined real estate in 2000.
Now you are Google Map now for Bangalore.
Oh, I will tell, okay, go beyond that. There's nice samosa wala there. You get very good samosa there. Oh, you go there, there's one this over there. You know all that. You will not just know. One nice side effect of real estate is you get good food. I have to share this story. Once I'd gone to see land, in very Mandya, Kanakpura side somewhere there, and I had gone there, and the person who took me was a big shot of that area, typically Chaudhary type fellow. So we went there, and I was fasting that day. So he wanted to give me lunch. I said, "Main to nahi khaunga. I am fasting." I told him in Kannada that I am fasting and I will not be eating. So he said, "Okay." Then I said, "After sunset I will eat." So after sunset we reach one place, one village type of place on the main highway, and there is one nice place. It's like got a tiled roof. It's a restaurant where they're making dosa.
Okay.
And it's typical that very low end with that granite table, and you sit over there, and it was full. So this guy's PA kind of fellow goes there. He makes 2 people get up. That table gets clean. I go and sit there. Okay. Think about it. I am manager. I am not some CEO that time. I am manager.
Right.
Senior manager bol sakte ho. That time I was senior manager. They make me sit there. Then the dosa, they get 2 people to get up for me to sit there. Where you get this VIP treatment?
Right.
Then I had that dosa, whatever. I said, thank you. He didn't allow me to pay. Okay. Then we came out. Then, he would drop back home, whatever, all that happened. What I'm saying is that real estate, in a way, when you are working in real estate, you get various exposure. I once met a person who was asking for a lift. He was a crippled person. He was asking for a lift. And because I keep roaming around, car leke ja raha, land dekh raha hu, ye kar raha hu, customer se mil raha hu. So I met a person, I gave him lift. And after speaking to him, I realized that his son got dengue. So he spent 6,000 rupees for a treatment. And he had come all the way to Bangalore from some village to ask for some loan.
Okay.
And then I realized that his net worth was 6,000 rupees. His entire savings. So that level person to somebody who's, highly powerful. That entire bandwidth of people you interact. And in the end, if you look at what you are just who people you meet. You meet the certain type of people, you become a certain type of person.
Yes.
When you meet so many type of people, you become a very diverse person. You can, from watchman to chairman, you can interact with anyone.
Yes, that is
That
the
is
beauty. That is the beauty of this business. You meet everyone. You meet a people. I have seen a people. My first visit was like he came in Ferrari.
Oh.
So that is obviously
You didn't ask him mileage kitna milta hai?
mileage. Yeah, that's how the experience is very good overall industry, and you are satisfied. So we call it lifestyle entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
It's a
Oh
lifestyle.
my God, I remember. So the beauty I have seen, like first of all, most of the work happens on weekends. So weekdays, one Thursday, you feel आज काम करने का मूड नहीं कर
नहीं कर रहा है.
मत करो. Customer तो Sunday के Sunday आएगा.
हाँ.
But Sunday you cannot say आज काम करने का मूड नहीं हो रहा है.
So I went for a funding to meet one of at early stage. So Vivek, he told me, Vivek, this is a lifestyle business, lifestyle entrepreneurship. They will not fund it you because already you will buy Mercedes, you'll fly there, you'll live in West Hotel, you'll earn that kind of money. And so he told me that from that day we started saying lifestyle entrepreneurship.
It is. In fact, it gives you a lot of freedom. One thing, if you just have the discipline of making 25 calls a day, you're sorted.
Yeah.
Just have the discipline. 25 calls a day. In fact, in Quora, you are also very active on Quora.
Yeah.
In Quora, somebody had asked, what's the secret of success? One formula. So make 25 calls a day. There's nothing better than that, irrespective of industry, irrespective of which level you are. It could be 25 calls or meet 25 people a day, whatever works.
Yes.
25 human interactions where you are seeking business.
Yes.
Just do that. You can apply it wherever you want.
On top of that, I have written on LinkedIn also, you are 2,000 calls away from your success.
Absolutely.
We are not able to reach even 100
Breakdown
people in our life.
Breakdown is 2,000 calls means 200 interested means 20. That is a one closer.
Yes, simple. And you don't know what even a single deal can give you so much of money.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that. Realistically.
Just for the record, what's the largest commission amount that any one of your offices ever had?
80 lakh.
80 lakh in one transaction.
Two transactions, 80 lakh. It's single person bought.
One person bought two. So one customer plus the people you bought from up together 80 lakhs in one transaction.
Yeah.
It's almost a crore. That's more than the annual turnover of many entrepreneurs.
Yeah. It's a high margin business.
Wow.
High margin business.
And what is the cost of doing that? 25 calls a day.
25 calls a day.
Or 2,000 calls.
Nothing is easy. Nothing is easy.
True.
You have to do
one observation, before we close, I'll just say, it is perceived to be easy. So people are looking for easy money come in and they fail.
No.
And the beauty is because it's a lifestyle business, nobody leaves. I know so many brokers, they have 2 acres for sale, documents they will take and they're working for 20 years. So sale kabhi hota nahi hai. Unko pata bhi nahi hai owner kaun hai, wo property document leke ghum raha hai.
Right. It's a patience business. And my first deal happened after 6 months.
Oh.
You have to be patient in this business. And second, I called always sales or whether real estate sales, it is a feet on street.
Correct.
You're at site, you're calling your client and client say, I will not come. And 45-degree, you're sitting there. But rewards are so big. Rewards are very big, but it takes time. So that is my final thoughts on this.
Lifestyle business, it's hard work.
It's hard work,
but that's once worth it.
Asset-light business, again. Asset-light business.
On that note, we'll close and thank you so much for coming all the way from Delhi.
Thank you for inviting also. Thank you for inviting.